Good morning. It's Market Day Report. Welcome to a Thursday. 2 trading days left here in this holiday shortened week. Now, normally on a Thursday morning, we're talking weekly export sales. Not today, though. That Monday holiday pushed the Thursday report back to Friday. So we'll have that for you about 24 hours from now. Right now, though, let's look at overnight action in the corn market. And mostly higher. The December at 4.18 3/4 in a 2-cent trade range, up 3/4 of a cent. And the fact that I said a 2-cent trade range tells us pretty much everything we need to know about the markets. It's really quiet right now. 10.25.5 on the new crop November beans, and that's 6 lower. What about soy meal? Well, contracts in mixed territory. This is a market, though, that's been lower for the past 2 sessions. And bean oil, now we're seeing 50 cents in that September contract. Deferred's 51 to 52. But again, starting to slip for really the first time into that 50-cent trading range in what, about 6 weeks? Wheat market lower in the overnight session with December down 5 1/4. Hard red off 5 in the overnight session, and then spring wheat in the overnight session lower. One more here. The cotton market down 33. And look at this. The range had really been like 66.5 to 60, well, 66 to 67. 65.89 overnight, down 32. Brian Hoops is president of Midwest Market Solutions, and can we draw a lot from that corn market and that really tight trade range?
Hey, good morning, Tony. There isn't much as far as news out there, period, for corn or wheat, soybeans, anything. No private export sales, and weekly export sales are delayed this morning till tomorrow because of Monday's holiday. So we're kind of left with what other news is out there, what technicals can we see, and we definitely see the funds stepping in and buying corn. They were sellers yesterday, but 4 out of the last 5 days they've been buying, and it looks like there's some buying interests developing once again in this corn market. Now, soybeans did drop to the lowest level since the August 12th crop report day, as we've been noting that producers were very interested in selling soybeans, 10.50, 10.60 cash on the board, and then selling the cash product. We've seen a pretty big drop from those levels because they want to sell the soybeans at these higher prices, move them into town, and not have to worry about storing them. They'd rather store the corn market because there's unlikely the USDA is going to come out with another yield number that high this year. It's probably going to have some sort of a smaller corn yield number going forward in subsequent USDA reports. In fact, we have another report a week from tomorrow. We do expect to hear StoneX this afternoon with their yield estimates. We'll see those out. They were very high, very accurate last month. We'll see if they are still in that range. That'll kind of give us a little bit of direction. Overnight, Rabobank did estimate that the soybean production in South America for next year is going to be about 175 million metric tons. And that's really the problem with the soybean export profile this year. It's not so much that we have a trade war with China. It's the fact that China can buy soybeans from South America still. They bought 5 to 6 cargoes this week alone because there's plenty of soybeans out there from South America. They'd rather buy from South America than the U.S. And normally this is the time of year where they buy from the United States. It doesn't look like they're going to need to because they have so much crop available out of South America.
Yeah, we had another estimate out yesterday, Allendale at 187 on the corn. At this point, nearly everybody's projecting a huge corn crop. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment with Brian Hoops and the cattle market. Market Day Report continues in a moment. We have seen some cash cattle trade this week. More on that in a moment. First, live cattle. How did we settle the session yesterday? $1.32 lower, 238.20. That's the front month, and the D's at 240.17 was down 97. Now the feeders lower as well. This is 2 straight sessions in the red for feeders. Front month at 361.85 off 240. 240 lower on October at 361.30. And finally, a market that's been higher 8 out of the last 9 sessions. which meant yesterday it broke an 8-day win streak, 172 lower on October hogs, 93.82. Let's go back to Springfield, Missouri. Brian Hoops, Midwest Market Solutions. Cash cattle, what'd you hear?
Well, we saw some bids at 242 yesterday around midday. Asking price is 245, but by the closing bell, we were trading 242 cash trades. So that's why the futures market was a little disappointing by the close, even though we had higher cutout values at midday. And we had those cutout values stronger again yesterday afternoon. That should provide us a little bit of support, although there's a lot of skepticism about if we can sustain those cutout values post Labor Day here. So that is something that really trade will be watching, along with cattle weights that'll come out this midday cutout values. That's really going to be kind of key for trade direction going forward here. So we'll see more cash trade develop, especially in the northern plains. We just haven't had much yet, haven't even really seen any bids or asking prices being out of the north on a dress basis. We definitely will see some trade there, but it was in the south where that 242 was traded fairly limited. Hog weights did jump a little bit yesterday when they were announced, about 1.5 pounds compared to last week, and that seemingly broke our string of those 7 or 8 consecutive higher closes in hogs. They closed lower yesterday, but they're still very discount to the index. Cash trade was a little bit softer, maybe $1 to $2 in most locations this week. That weighs on the futures, but we're so far discount that there's going to be some strength in those futures, I think, to kind of meet in the middle or at least rally close towards where that lean hog index is. That's up around 105, 106.
All right.
Current.
A few things to keep our eye on for the rest of the day and into tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, we'll see you in the morning. Brian Hoops, Midwest Market Solutions.